Hey guys, welcome back to some more reviews. I'm Horrorboy465, aka Nate Murphy, the Explorer for here. Welcome back to some more reviews. And today get into the sixth film in the Halloween franchise, and that is Halloween: The Curse of Michael Myers, which came out in 1995, and it gets a 4.9 on IMDb. Written by Joe Chappelle, who had made a lot of TV stuff. Not really familiar with this director. CSI Miami, CSI New York, a TV show called The Wire, the Twilight Zone TV show, The Skulls 2, Takedown, and Phantoms. Now, I've heard about Phantoms, but, I don't think I've really heard of anything else by this guy. But I thought he did a horrible job with this film. I don't think he did as bad as Dominic Olton and Gerard, because Dominic Olton and Gerard was involved in the writing. I'm not sure if he was involved in the writing. I'm trying to see here who was involved in the writing of this film. Says Daniel Farrens. But Dominic Olton and Gerard was a horrible director. He was a horrible writer. I don't think Joe Chappelle was as bad as Dominic Olton and Gerard, because, he didn't include random things in the film that did not make sense. Here, in this movie, of course, is trying to explain more about the Thorn plot line, which I am not a fan of. I know there are some people who are fans of Halloween 6. I am aware that there is a producer's cut. I've heard it is much better than this version. I will definitely give it a watch one of these days. I'll definitely try to find it and give it a watch. But I do know there's a producer's cut of this, and I did hear that's pretty good. You have some more Donald Pleasance in the producer's cut, which this film was his last. This film was his last time in a Halloween film, and Donald Pleasance as a great actor. He's missed very much. Really enjoyed all of his performances in the Halloween films. Did a great job in this film as well, and he was a great actor. But he gave a great job in this. He gave a great performance in this film, and he is missed. He's a great actor, and rest in peace to Donald Pleasance. But Donald Pleasance is probably the best actor in this film. The rest of the cast I did not care about, because you got Paul Rudd, who's going to be an Ant-Man, going to be in a lot of movies after Halloween 6. And his performance in this movie is completely unemotional. There's nothing to his character. He just plays this weird, creepy dude. He plays Tommy Doyle, but he's just a very weird, creepy character. Doesn't really say much. Doesn't really, do much. Kind of a weird character. He's obsessed with Michael Myers. Obsessed with trying to figure out what the Thorn cult is all about. I'm not a fan of Paul Rudd's performance in this film. And the movie just has so many problems. And like I said, I do know people are fans. I do know that there are fans of this film. I used to say that it was decent. I did. I used to say that it was okay, that it was decent for the makeup effects and death scenes. But any more when I watch this film, I get bored. I notice that it has horrible direction by Joe Chappelle. Horrible direction. The movie has this really annoying blue filter. The whole movie. The atmosphere, it is really nothing but a really thick blue filter for the whole film. And I do get the original Halloween had sort of shades, had like some lighting that was blue, but it was handled better. It was handled in the atmosphere. It was handled to the point where it was just, in this film, it became to the point where the whole movie was nothing but a thick shade of a blue filter. And it looked awful. It didn't add anything to the atmosphere. It didn't add anything to the mood. It was just a very bad look for the film. And the movie looks cheap. I hate the blue filter to it. It doesn't really have any good shots in it. It's not shot well at all. Not a fan of the cast. I'm not a fan of Paul Rudd. I'm not a fan of the lead girl. Maureen Hagen as Kara Strode. Not a fan of her performance in this film. Her acting was pretty bad. The rest of the cast, besides Dr. Loomis, I didn't really care for. The best character was Dr. Loomis. Donald Pleasance gave a great performance in this movie. Um, did a great job in the film. But the rest of the cast, I really didn't care for. In the story, like I said, in this film, they're trying to explain the Thorn plot line, which I'm not a fan of at all. I think it's a stupid plot line. I think it's a ridiculous plot line of putting Michael Myers in a cult. And basically, this cult is controlling Michael Myers. When you do that, Michael Myers is basically now a puppet for this cult. They're using him, and they're basically controlling him. I do get by the end of the film, he ends up killing the cult. I do get that. But I hate the aspect that they're trying to say, well, this cult controls Michael Myers and the Thorn cult. The whole Thorn idea, I just didn't care for. It was a stupid direction. And just putting Michael Myers into a cult is not a good idea, in my opinion. Just not a good idea. And I'm not a fan of them killing the Jamie character off. They didn't get Daniel Harris to come back to play Jamie. The movie's music is awful. Probably, I don't know, this, Halloween 5, H2O, probably have the worst scores of the franchise. Because Halloween 5 was lackluster. But at least I liked one song from Halloween 5's score. And that was the main theme. Here, I don't like this score at all. It has really bad rock versions of music. You know, like the Shape Stocks music is done like a ding, da-ding, ding. And I do feel like it could have been good. It could have been a good score, a rock and roll score. It is a different idea. It could have been good. But the thing is, the score is that just the way that it sounds. You know, the way the rock is done. I mean, it just sounds bad. Now, if it was done better, it would have been a great score. You know, a rock and roll score. Okay, that's different. It's cool. Having guitars playing the Halloween theme song, right? It's a good idea, but the way that it's executed is done poorly. It just sounds bad. It sounds cheap. It just sounds cheap. And the Halloween theme is done in the guitar way, and like it's done with like electric guitar. And I don't know, just the way that it sounds bad. You got these really random edits in the film where it'll quick cut, and you see like a flash of these images, and you hear like a score happen, like it'll be like dun-it, dun-it, dun-it. You know, they'll be talking like dun-it, dun-it. It gets annoying. So yeah, I mean, Joe Chappelle, as far as directing, I mean, it doesn't have a good atmosphere. I hate the fact that the whole movie has this really thick blue filter through it. No good shots, nothing to the atmosphere. It looks very, very cheap, in my opinion. The acting is horrible. Besides Donald Pleasance is the only character in this film that had good acting. He did a great job in the film. The rest of the cast I didn't care for. But Donald Pleasance did a good job in this film. I'll give the movie this, though. I think it does have some good practical effects. It has some really good death scenes. Donald Pleasance does a great job in this film. Trying to think of what else. I don't mind the way the mask looks in this film. It doesn't look as bad as the mask from Halloween 4 and 5. I'm not a fan of the way the masks look in those films. I feel like it was improved in this film. It just looks better in this movie. There's really not much else that's good in this film. Decent practical effects, decent body count, decent death scenes. Didn't mind the look of the mask. The same guy came back to play Michael Myers from Halloween 4. He did a decent job in this film. I thought he did better in Halloween 4, but he did a decent job. The storyline, pretty much, the movie starts off with the character Jamie. She's not played by Daniel Harris, but it's played by a different actress. She's being taken to this place by the Thorn cult. She gives birth to her son. The cult takes her son away. A member of the cult ends up helping Jamie, gives her baby back to her, and then ends up getting killed by Michael Myers, which I'll get to that scene later on in the film. But she ends up getting killed by Michael Myers. Michael Myers chases Jamie. Jamie goes to this sort of subway station or train station, hides her baby in the bathroom, and they're trying to call for help. She gets on the radio where you hear Paul Rudd talking to this guy on the radio about Michael Myers, and Paul Rudd was an Ant-Man. Paul Rudd, after this, done so many movies. In this movie, he was just dull. He was boring. There was nothing much to his character. Nothing to his character at all. He's basically playing Tommy Doyle from the first movie. But in this movie, he's very weird. Boring, dull character. His reactions sometimes, like I swear, sometimes he'll see Michael Myers. Like there's a scene where Michael Myers is chased after him and the lead girl, and he's literally like, I notice he smiles a little bit. He goes like, I'm like, I notice he smiles a little bit, so it was bad. But pretty much, I mean, Paul Rudd did awful in this film. I did not care about the Maureen Hagen character as our lead character, Kara Strode. Did not care for her character. Her acting was pretty bad. And pretty much, Jamie leaves the baby back at the train station. She's being chased by Michael Myers. Michael Myers is catching up to her and killing her. Then Paul Rudd ends up going to this train station, finds Donald Pleasance there, or I don't think he finds him there. Actually, he finds the baby in the train station. Meanwhile, we got the Strode residents. I believe they actually move, if not mistaken, they move into the Myers house, or they move into a house. I think they move into the Myers house. But the Strodes, they're in Haddonfield. Michael Myers ends up going back to Haddonfield. Paul Rudd ends up finding the baby, and then the train station. Ends up talking to Donald Pleasance for a little bit. And basically, Donald Pleasance and Paul Rudd trying to figure out this whole Thorn cult. And this guy, the guy from the fifth movie, the guy dresses up all in black, he comes back in this film, and later on in the film becomes a twist, and he pops up randomly. The lead girl's son keeps having nightmares about this guy. And like I said, he just pops up randomly, doesn't do anything, doesn't serve that much of the story besides it's just a twist at the end of the film. It's involved in this Thorn plot, which once again, I'm not a fan of. And Michael Myers goes back to Haddonfield, and he's trying to, clear people out of the house, the Strodes out of the house, and he's trying to find Jamie's baby. And you have some decent death scenes. The pretty much the dad to the lead girl, he's a big jerk to her. He's pretty much a jerk to her. He gets stabbed, electrocuted till his head explodes. The mom gets, stabbed with she gets hit with an axe. The lead girl's brother gets his throat slit. And then the lead girl ends up seeing her brother's girlfriend across the street getting stabbed by Michael Myers. There's death scenes towards the beginning of the film where the girl that helped out the Jamie character, she gets her head pushed into a spike on the wall. A guy gets his neck twisted around. You see bones and stuff. Pretty good makeup effect. Pretty good makeup effect. And towards the end of the film, the Thorn cult shows up. They take the baby. They take the girl, lead girl. Paul Rudd and Donald Pleasance end up going to this hospital because Donald Pleasance ended up figuring out who the guy dressed up all in black is. Donald Pleasance and Paul Rudd go to the hospital. It's mental hospital, and Donald Pleasance confronts the guy that dressed up all in black. Ends up being somebody that he knows. Ends up being a doctor at the hospital, and of course the doctor is talking about, oh, this is the Thorn, and every single moment that Michael Myers has done something, the Thorn, the stars form into a Thorn symbol, and it's really bad idea. And they knock out Donald Pleasance. Paul Rudd tries to save the Jamie character, finds a girl who's been stabbed in the stomach, and then she dies. He goes over to the door, tries to break the door down where the lead girl's inside this room. Michael Myers pops out, chase after Paul Rudd. He busts down the door, gets the girl out of there. They go into this one room where these lights are like flickering, and Michael Myers is stabbing people, and pretty good death scene, pretty good makeup effects, stuff like that. Well, Michael Myers is basically causing chaos in this room, and it's all done in flashing lights. They get the baby, they get out of there. Michael Myers turns on the cult, kills the entire cult, goes after Paul Rudd and the lead girl. Paul Rudd, they lead Michael Myers to this room, end up putting tranquilizers in Michael Myers, and Paul Rudd gets like a steel pipe and beats the crap out of Michael Myers with it, and basically beats his face in so you think Michael Myers is dead. They walk off. Donald Pleasance says goodbye. They all say goodbye, and then they drive off, and the movie ends. The movie actually ends with a shot of Michael Myers' mask and tranquilizers, and Donald Pleasance like screaming in the background. And then the movie ends. I'm not too sure about the ending because they really didn't kill Michael Myers. But I do know that the producer's cut's ending is different. It's more like Donald Pleasance gets like the thorn symbol on his arm, and Michael Myers ends up becoming the guy dressed up in black as a disguise to get out of there. And I do know that the producer's cut, it's said to be better than this film. It's said to be a lot better. I've seen a couple of clips from the producer's cut. It seemed like it was better because Donald Pleasance got more screen time, and Donald Pleasance in this film did an amazing job, great job. There's a great line at the beginning of the movie where it's kind of funny where this guy's on the radio. He's like, "Oh yeah, Dr. Loomis guy, isn't he like dead or something like that?" And Dr. Loomis goes, "No, not dead, but very much retired." And it was just a funny line, and then it just in this film they handled Dr. Loomis character a lot better. He's trying to help out people. Donald Pleasance does a good job in this film. He's greatly missed. He's a great actor, and did an amazing job in this film. But Halloween 6, it's in my opinion, it's worse than Halloween 5 because I'm not a fan of the Thorn plot. I am not a fan of the atmosphere, the blue filter look, the score. Not much, no good shots, no good atmosphere. The rest of the cast, besides Donald Pleasance, did a pretty bad job. But Donald Pleasance did a great job in the film. But yeah, you got some decent, really scenes. Towards the end of the film, whenever the chase scene happens and Michael Myers is chasing Paul Rudd and the lead girl, it's a pretty decent scene where he's chasing them and ends up taking a guy and pushing his face these bars and pushing the door down. The end of the film was decent. It was pretty decent. They fight Michael Myers. Paul Rudd is trying to fight him and hits him with a steel pipe. Alright, decent. Some decent things in there. But I thought that overall the film it's just really bad. There's nothing in the atmosphere. The cast, the acting is pretty bad. Donald Pleasance as the best character in the film. Did a great job. Donald Pleasance is one of the best things in this movie. He did a great job, great performance with Donald Pleasance, and he is greatly missed. He did a great job in this film. But I just not a fan of Halloween 6. If you're a fan of it, that's totally fine. I used to think that it was decent, but anymore watching it, it's pretty boring. Just not a fan of Halloween 6, Curse Michael Myers. It has, like I said, a bad atmosphere, bad acting. Didn't care for Paul Rudd, didn't care for the lead girl. The score was awful. You had Alan Howard doing the score in this film, but it was still pretty bad. But I don't know what else I can say. Halloween 6, The Curse of Michael Myers, it's a bad film. It's a horrible film. It's got a bad atmosphere. It's got Joe Chappelle didn't do a good job at all directing it. I mean, it's got a lot of problems, but it does have some decent makeup effects. It does have some decent death scenes, and Donald Pleasance did a really good job in the film. I mean, he did an amazing job in the film, and he is greatly missed. So rest in peace, Donald Pleasance. But yeah, so I mean, Halloween 6 though has a lot of problems. I'm just not a fan of it. But yeah. So yeah, thanks for watching my rant on Halloween 6: The Curse of Michael Myers. I don't know what else I can say about it. It's just a very crappy sequel. They kill off the Jamie character. I don't know. I mean, it's a bad sequel. The Thorn plot, I'm not a fan of the Thorn plot at all. It's a bad movie. I mean, I know this review wasn't as long as some other reviews, but Halloween 6: The Curse of Michael Myers is just not a good movie. It's just there's not much to it. It's got the whole Thorn plot line, which I'm not a fan of, and just bad acting. Joe Chappelle did a bad job directing the movie, and it was just overall a bad movie. But yeah, thanks for watching my review on Halloween 6: The Curse of Michael Myers, and I'll see you guys in the next review. Bye, guys.